Now that the first wave of free agency is over with, it's time we take a look at what the Buffalo Bills still need to address in this year's NFL Draft. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this 2021 Buffalo Bills draft coverage edition of Billievers Talk, where we take a look at the Buffalo Bills NFL draft, or at least some prospects heading into the NFL draft. Guys, I'm going to break down prospects for a while leading into the NFL draft, but before we do that, we need to make sure we know what our team needs are. Before we do that, again, reminder, if you haven't already subscribed to Billievers Talk, hit that subscribe button for continual Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports content. Also, hit that thumbs up button, like this video. And what do you think the Buffalo Bills team needs are? After all the moves Brandon Beane has made in free agency, what do the Buffalo Bills really still need to address when it comes to the NFL draft? Now, I know that Brandon Beane and this front office have done a good job trying to make sure they can go after best player available with that number 30 overall pick. Or if they want, they can trade up or they can trade back. And so they really put themselves in a good position. But let's be honest, guys, if you look at the Buffalo Bills depth chart, there are still some positions of need, right? Some depth that you would like to have on this team that we'll talk about in this episode. And again, let me know in the comment section if you agree with who I have or what I have as team needs. And if not, let me know what you think some of the team needs are at these positions. After we go over team needs, I am going to do a video breaking down some of the players available at each position. So if you have a player in mind that you want me to go over, let me know in the comment section as well, and I'll happily go over them as well, because I'm looking at certain players, not only who we could possibly pick at number 30 in the NFL draft, but also some sleepers, right? Some day 2, day 3 guys, because those guys will determine the need for picking up a guy in day 1, right? If you have a sleeper edge rusher who you really like, if you're Brandon Beane, and no one else is talking about it, who you could pick up in the 4th round, then you don't want to go after an edge rusher on day 1. You'll go after a different position, or if you want to double dip, you can do that too, obviously. But if you have a guy in mind, you'll address one of your other needs first, if that makes sense. So let's go over my top 6 team needs, start from bottom going to the top. And the first one here at number 6, we're talking about depth, and that's the linebacker position. Listen, I know we have AJ Klein, I know we have Tremaine Edmonds, I know that we re-signed Matt Milano. Now hopefully Terrell Dodson's back and he is fully healthy and able to give us a full year of production. But you still look at the depth of this linebacking core, especially after Matt Milano went out, right? Early in the season, we were without Tremaine Edmonds and Matt Milano, and this defense really struggled. This defense consistently struggles against the run, and hopefully we can bring in a linebacker who adds depth, who adds a little bit of toughness. I know we went after Vosean Joseph a few years back. I know we like picking up those day 3 guys that can add a little bit of toughness, a little bit of speed maybe to that linebacking core, and that would be, and obviously depth, right? And that would be something that the Buffalo Bills should look into in this draft as well. Late day 2, early day 3, take a look at that linebacker position just to make sure you have the right depth, the proper depth that you want, and that you're happy with the linebackers in the linebacking room. I'm not positive that the Buffalo Bills feel like Terrell Dodson can play that backup linebacker role. I feel like they want to move away from him in the near future, and that means that we need even more depth at the linebacker position. So for number 6 on my top 6 team needs going into the 2021 NFL draft, I have the linebacker position. At number 5, we're looking at running back. Maybe it would have been a little bit higher yesterday, but after the addition of Matt Breida, we could put him back a little bit. But that does not take my attention to picking up EPN or picking up Harris in the 1st round of the NFL draft if they're the best player available. Now, if you're a fan of this channel, you know that I don't want that. I do not want the Buffalo Bills picking a running back in the 1st round. In fact, the only way I would want the Bills to pick a running back first with their 1st pick is if they have, let's say Harris and EPN are both still on the board at 30. If the Buffalo Bills trade back, let's say to Cincinnati at 33, and Cincinnati moves up to get ahead of Kansas City, maybe to get an offensive lineman, who knows, right? And one of the two running backs are still on the board, or maybe even both are still on the board at 33. At that point, I like the pick. I like the value. But getting a running back in the first round, to me, is a wasted pick because you give yourself limited options when it comes to that fifth-year option. By the time he hits his fifth year, you're talking about a 25, 26, 27-year-old running back who's really one contract away from being at that 30 number. So I don't like it all that much, but that's my opinion. I know a lot of Bills Mafia out there really want to bring in either Harris or EPN, and I don't think the Matt Breida move makes that not possible, right? I still think that's something that's on the board for Brandon Beane and this Buffalo Bills team. We'll see what they do, but I have running back at number 5 on my team needs. Moving up to number 4, I have offensive guard, and a lot of people are looking over this offensive line, thinking that we addressed it enough in free agency. Guys, I don't know what to think about Cody Ford at offensive guard, right? We really don't know because the Buffalo Bills, Dable and McDermott have really been moving him around a little bit, and then last year he spent most of the year injured and on the IR, so we don't know what to expect out of Cody Ford. So it's out of the realm of possibility to get some depth here, and you know how I feel about the trenches. So there's never too much depth when you're talking about offensive line, especially in those guard positions, right? You look at a guard, maybe even a center, right? Because Mitch Morris, when he went out last year, you had to have Feliciano come back in, right? Feliciano played center his first game back. So if you have Feliciano still there, which you do, there's no guarantee that he won't be asked to play center at some point if Mitch Morris goes down. So you want some depth there. You want a little backup plan in case that does happen. So for me, my number 4 need for the Buffalo Bills, offensive guard. I think this is a position not being talked about enough by a lot of Bills Mafia, and it's something that the Buffalo Bills should address. Again, maybe day 3, late day 2, but definitely something that needs to be addressed during the draft this year. My next one, number 3, is the tight end position. And look, I know the Buffalo Bills also in free agency just signed a tight end, and the Bills are very excited about that. Josh Allen's old teammate in Wyoming, but I still feel like this tight end room is lacking something, right? Now, I don't think we're going to get someone like Kyle Pitts, so that makes me believe that if we're not getting a stud, then we really want to waste draft capital on a tight end. If there's a sleeper that we have on day 3, then maybe we could think about that kind of move. I don't see the Buffalo Bills going after a tight end on day 1, maybe late day 2 if they trade back and get extra third-round draft picks. I don't know. Even talking about now, I could see myself thinking that offensive guard should be 3, tight end 4, but still, tight end definitely a position of need still for the Buffalo Bills. My number 2 position of need is that cornerback spot, CB2. We did re-sign Levi Wallace, which helps out, and again, makes it possible for the Buffalo Bills and for Brandon Beane to go after best player available when it comes to the NFL draft. But you need someone with consistency. It feels like ever since Levi Wallace has been there, the Buffalo Bills have brought in a veteran guy to help Levi Wallace out. So they don't feel comfortable leaving Levi Wallace on an island by himself. So now is the time to get that young stud, right? Get a guy who you can trust at that CB2 position, who Levi Wallace could even help mentor at times. We know how Coach McDermott plays these draft picks, right? You have to earn your time. So just because the Buffalo Bills would get an early cornerback does not necessarily mean he starts day 1 for the Buffalo Bills. You still look at Levi Wallace. You still have some good cornerback depth with Teron Johnson. All he does is have pick 6s. And players like that. And of course, we talk about Dane Jackson, who we picked up in the 7th round last season. So you do have some depth at the cornerback position, but you want that one more guy, right? That one more guy opposite Trey White, who you know can lock things down. Would love to have a situation like the Miami Dolphins do with Howard and Bryson, I believe his name is, over in Miami. You'd love to have that 1-2 combo there. But still, cornerback 2, CB2, my number 2 position of need in the NFL draft. And then the number 1 position of need, again, I know we got F.A. Obata currently in free agency, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I think he's a great addition. I really like that addition if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. But the number 1 need has to be a dominant edge rusher. You want someone who can consistently get pressure on the quarterback, who can be cheap. Again, the Buffalo Bills spent the most out of any team on the defensive line last season. If we're going to do that, I want more consistency in the pass rush. Now we do get Star back this year, but still, you want the edge rush to be able to come in on the quarterback on a consistent level. Don't know if Epeneza's ready to take that step up. Don't know if Obata is the #1 clear answer. Jerry Hughes might be getting up there in age a little bit, so I know we have some depth there. I know we have a decent rotation. I would like to add to that rotation and get that dominant force on the defensive line for a defensive edge rusher. So let me know what you guys think. Those were my top 6. Again, from bottom to top, you got linebacker, running back, offensive guard, tight end, cornerback 2, edge rusher. Those are my team needs. Let me know what you think in the comment section. And again, if there is a specific player at one of these positions that you want me to go over, starting this week, I'm going to go over the edge rush position. I'm going to go over the cornerback 2 position. So if there's a specific player in mind you want me to go over, leave it in the comment section. Happy to do it for you guys. Get it in there today, just so I have time to look them up, look into them. Again, I'm not just looking at highlights. I'm going to look at some of the things that the player does incorrectly as well, and see if those are something that can be made better during his career in the NFL, or if that's definitely a red flag. I'll let you know in the upcoming videos. Again, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.